Daddy.
Oh shit, we're live. Game on.
What is going on, guys? It's Alonna with 57 Press coming at you with another podcast for your Sunday night listening pleasure. Tonight, I am here with one of my favorite bands, Generation Underground. How you guys doing tonight?
What's poppin', fam?
Okay.
Hey, Raph.
Okay. What do you mean, okay?
Just okay.
I don't know.
Wow, all
I'm
right.
going to be very sad for this interview.
Okay, R.
Vague or sad? I heard vague.
I don't know. A little both.
God.
Okay. I can live with that. All right. So for those who do not know you guys, why don't you introduce yourselves and what you do for the band?
I'm Mike. I play guitar and I sing. And
I'm
yell.
Rob. I hit drums with sticks.
I'm Raph and I play the bass.
Nice. So how did you three come together as a band? Because I know that there was, previous lineups and everything like that. So how did you, Mike, cement this lineup?
I went to high school with Ralph, and he actually is our original bass player from 7-8 years ago. So we reconnected like 2 years ago, me and him, and pretty much we went through all of our options we had last year, member-wise. So I hit him about jamming. We jammed a few times, and then he came and jammed, and then when our last drummer just decided to disappear from everybody, Raph suggested Rob, and Rob came and jammed, and pretty match made in heaven, honestly. So Rob's everything we could possibly need. So
all history from there.
R led to R.
R led to R. Actually, R led to Daddy Pegasus. Oh man, I mean, it's a hell of a display name. I'll give you that.
Hey man, I just do my best to keep the people entertained.
Remember the one we did, Rob? You had the unicorn head on the entire time.
Yeah, I've become a Pegasus now. I've surpassed the unicorn phase. I'm now a Pegasus.
You've evolved.
I have.
You've evolved.
Yeah.
So you guys recently released Cold Blooded Volume 2 and the lead-off single Brandon Boulder. So what was the writing process for Cold Blooded Volume 2 like, and what is the backstory behind Brandon Boulder? Because you also have Pasnito on there, GTS.
So the record's been done for, it's kind of weird. This is the first interview we've done since it's been out, actually. It was done for 2.5 years pretty much prior to it coming out. Those songs have been around for a while. Some of them, changed a little bit here and there, but Brandon Boulder was actually the first song we wrote for the entire project. That song is, by this August, will be 4 years old since we wrote it. So, those songs have been around for a while. It's just trying to, navigate writing and a shitty manager and a shitty booking agent, trying to, navigate how to do everything, and then splitting the record into 2 EPs. So it's been a very interesting process. Putting it out the way we did, I wouldn't do it again. I would just put it out as one record and just move on with my life, but can't change what happened. So it is what it is, but we're very happy it's out finally after all this time.
That's some good shit.
For sure. So what is the backstory behind Brandon Boulder then?
So Brandon Boulder is about a friend of mine who is named Brandon, who was just very brain dead stupid, and just him and his ex-girlfriend at the time, they had a lot of issues, a lot of fighting and complaining, and pretty much got very tired of hearing it. So we ended up writing a song about what was going on. And the most surreal part about all that is that he is the one who wrote the breakdown in that song. And he played on the song too, about himself, which is just very, I don't even know how I should feel about that. Very strange. But
that's very Fleetwood Mac of you guys. Like when Stevie Nicks used to make Lindsay play songs about himself, like how much of an asshole he was. That's very Fleetwood Mac of you guys. I respect it. I would probably do the same thing. But the question is, did Brandon do it voluntarily, or did you guys kind of like talk him into doing it?
I remember. I actually gotta remember now what the process was like. Well, he had written the breakdown kind of before we did the song, and then I remember we put it together. He never really had a problem with the song. His parents flipped shit about the song, but he personally never really had an issue with the song. And the funny thing is, there's multiple songs about him. There's Spineless on the first record about him. There's Burn Our Memories on Cold Blooded Volume 1. It's about him. And then you got Brandon Boulder. And then on the new record that we have been finishing is another one about him. So he's kind of like the Motionless in White, Static X kind of trilogy thing, where it's like every record you're going to get a Puppets 1, 2, or 3, or a Seago Go, or whatever the fuck the Static X songs are called. So, it's kind of per ritual to have a song about Brandon and have a song about my mother. It seems like it's on every record. It's got to have at least one. It's just not GU if we don't do that shit. It honestly isn't.
I mean, that's a combination, Brandon and your mother. I mean, decent topics.
It's so funny.
No. Here's why it was funny, because Rob accidentally got kicked out of the stream, and all he came back to was Brandon and your mother. That's all he heard. That's why he's laughing, because it literally said his device was no longer connected, and he got kicked out and came back, and that was all he came back to. So honestly, I apologize, Rob.
It's all good.
He's just like, yeah, whatever. He's like the fucking man in darkness over there. You can't even see him.
I know, Rob. We're gonna need like a flashlight for you. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Chilling in the car.
So individually, how do you think you guys got into playing music? Like, what was kind of like the turning point that you're like, this is what I want to do as a career? Like, this isn't just a hobby.
I think Raph should take the lead on this one.
Me?
Yeah,
let's
let Raph go first for once.
Oh,
I said
yeah.
Raph.
Well,
He's like,
my dad. What's that? My dad had like a band.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my dad had a band like a long time ago, like 10 years ago, like a Mexican band. Like it's like 10 people in it, 15 people. So like I would always go to the shows, and I would always see them like how they like set up all the stuff, and I always thought it was pretty cool. And then like around middle school, that's when I kind of started getting into like music, like metal, I guess, or whatever. And then that's when I met Mike too in middle school. Well, we met in first grade, but that's when like we kind of like started like hanging out that year in middle school. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. That's how it all started. And I just like I don't know, just everything about the music always like appealed to me.
Sick.
Nice. That's super awesome. And a band with like 10 to 15 people in it. I'm sure you were kind of like, whoa, like what the fuck is going on? That's so cool.
That band was Slipknot.
That band was Mexican Slipknot. Yeah, Mexican Slipknot. Mexican not.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they had matching uniforms too. They would always have like red, like bright, blue, bright orange.
We've discovered the Spanish inspiration of Slipknot.
Probably.
Slipknot is a band. They are from northern Mexico too.
They're from Des Moines, Mexico.
Same shit, friends.
Anyway, Rob, how about you?
Sorry, let me slam this Red Bull really quick. Fucking.
He's just like, let me slam this real quick. And I thought he was literally gonna just slam it like in his car, like just slam it against his window.
No, I gotta be semi-professional. Come on.
Semi.
I've always been. What? What's going on right now? Oh, Fucking,
I don't know, Rob.
when I was a kid, I've always been around music. You know? What is going on? What?
I don't
This
know.
is like
You just said when you were a kid you were
weird.
always around music, and then you stopped.
I heard something. Sorry.
You're gonna learn, Rob.
I think
no,
I
when I
think
was a
you
kid,
need to stop slamming Red Bulls. Because I think now you're like hearing colors.
I am, man.
He's hearing sounds.
But,
Anyway,
no.
so when you were a kid,
When I was a kid, I've always been around music. I always listened to metal when I was a kid because of my dad. You know, I've always been going to concerts since I was a kid too. So it just kind of sparked that. Then, you know, all happened there. Now I'm depressed and have unreleased music.
Same.
oddly specific, but okay. How about you, Mike?
Very specific.
Musician
life, yeah.
So my dad kind of brought me up around a lot of rock and metal, and then I think the big catalyst probably for me was that I have an uncle who was on TV for 7-8 years with the metal show. So kind of always been around since I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I think just as time went on, I got more and more interested in it. And I think also the fact that no one in my family really is musical at all, like outside of like piano. So that kind of intrigued me to kind of like take on something different. While I'm doing this interview, Jesus, fucking phone keeps shaking. And you know, I think like for me, the big turning point, I was saying this in one of the interviews we did recently, that when I met Clown from Slipknot and he asked if I wanted to watch Slipknot side stage, he's like, it'll change your life. When I watched them play that day in Camden, like that definitely was like the day of like, okay, like I want to do this. Like this is something I want to like be a part of. Like, yeah, not 9 people in a band, but like, you know, to that capacity. I was like, okay, like this is something I would like to do.
Right. And you know what? I respect that. I fucking love Clown. Like, I still haven't gotten to see Slipknot live, but I fucking him. I love watching him in interviews. I love him in live videos. Like to see him on stage in contrast to seeing him in interviews, he's like 2 split people, and I love that.
He's such a nice guy too. Like when we saw him like 6 years ago, he was backstage and we just walked up to him and he's like the most humble guy ever. Like there's no ego or anything. And literally we were like, Sean, can we get a picture? He goes, sure, but I have to ask you a question. And we're all sitting there like, okay. And I was like, what's up? He goes, what'd you guys think of the show? And I was like, the fact that Sean Crane is asking me what I think of his show is pretty fucking crazy to believe. And I was like, it was amazing. Like, it's
yo, honest
not be
God,
good.
yo, yeah, right. I would be like, it doesn't matter because you're fucking Slipknot. Of course, it's gonna be great. Like, it doesn't matter what I think. So, Mike, you were saying about how you know, previously Raph had played in your previous lineup. So do you think that because you guys have known each other for so long, like when he came back, it was kind of just like reigniting what you guys had previously, or were you guys kind of like, did you guys always kind of have that like chemistry, so to speak, because you've known each other for so long?
You know, the funny thing about that is I don't really know how I would answer that, because the honest answer is when he was in the band, I was playing drums back then. I wasn't even singing. So it was more of me and him were kind of like the rhythm section. And, you know, the honest answer, Raph, is I could not count to 4 to save my life back there. So I definitely think the familiarity of playing together in general definitely helped us. We jammed a few times during the pandemic to kind of just see how things were. And then we had brought Raph by, said like October, Raph, when Kyle was still in the band. And I was like, yeah, like, why don't you come by? I'll just jam and just see how it goes. And, you know, like, we kind of had like low-key to audition him last year before I needed him, just kind of see like how the hang was. And, you know, I definitely think that there was history there. It definitely helped us. I mean, he only played one show with us, but like, I also say the fact that I like, pretty much grew up with him, and he's like one of the 3 people I talked to from my high school. I think that definitely like made things, a lot easier for transition. There was a 5-year period where me and Raph didn't talk. Me and Raph did not like each other for 5 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Bringing a
Well,
beat.
it's good that you guys
I'm
are.
honestly trying to remember, Raph, like I'm trying to remember what the issue was, Raph. I remember we were fighting about you leaving the band, but I don't know if there really was anything else other to that.
Yeah, dude, we were probably just like some dumbass teenagers mad over fucking nothing. And we just let it get to our heads, and that was it.
Honestly.
And then we just grew up, and it was like, wow, we're fucking stupid back then. That's how I thought of it, honestly.
all
Like,
been there.
after we reconnected,
Yeah,
I was like,
honestly.
it's pretty stupid, honestly, when I thought about it.
I just love how we
Yeah, I
had
think-
senior
I
English
think we've
together,
all
and we
been
didn't
there.
talk a single word to each other the entire year. We
Yeah.
sat in front of each other and didn't say a single fucking word.
Oh my god, see that would kill me. Like I was like the weird kid in high school. Like if my friend was behind me, even if I was arguing, like I would have myself positioned so that I could still like stare at them so that they knew that I was like pissed or that I hated them and still see what was on the board. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn myself sideways and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there really was no way of doing that in our English class. Our teacher, Miss Pisani, Raph remembers her. She was not the brightest apple on the tree. Yeah, I remember just sitting. I used to sit in there with my headphones in and my fidget spinner, and that lady didn't do jack shit. We just sat there and did nothing all day. Like we learned nothing. Like I used to write the answers, Alonna, for our homework. I used to write the questions as the answers, and she used to give me hundreds on everything. And I was like, you are stupid, man. You are honestly stupid.
Damn. I wish I would have had a teacher like that. Although I remember in my English 4 class, me and my friend, we had like these long ass table things that we would sit at, and there was like freshman like English posters on the wall, and every day we would write one new stupid phrase on this poor kid's poster until one day his English teacher caught us and she was like, "Why are you writing on his poster?" I'm like, "I have no fucking idea, but I just wrote Kurt Cobain, whatever in hell or whatever. I don't know." And it was like the stupidest shit, but it was so hilarious because my English teacher would watch us do it. And then when the other guy's English teacher would come in and ask about it, he'd be like, "I didn't see them do anything." And I was like, "I love you." Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like that stupid shit you do when you're like 17, 18 years old and you're like, what the fuck was wrong with me?
Honestly, yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, couldn't
yeah.
agree more.
Yeah. So who are some musical influences for you guys? I remember on our previous podcast, I think you said that the band name was influenced by Motionless in White, right?
It was actually. It's funny enough that 570 is where they're from. But yeah, the name came from the Motionless in White song "Generation Lost." And funny enough, Raph, I thought about that band name in Pisani's English class, just so you know, senior year.
Yeah.
So the odds that would come up in an interview were pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, we were under a different name for the first, I guess it was like 3.5 years. We were called Cold Blooded with a K because we liked Korn, and we named it Cold Blooded after the Damage Plan song, the side project that Dimebag was in before he got murdered. And I mean, like, I know, like, when me and Raph first met, we were in like a lot of just random ass shit. I know, like, the one band me and him really like connected with was Avenged Sevenfold. Like them, Ozzy, Metallica. We took you to Metallica. Like Judas Priest, Rob Halford, and then I honestly think along like the big band that changed a lot of these was Suicide Silence. When I got into them, that like really opened my eyes to like how heavy music could be. Because I was into like, Slipknot and like System of a Down, Trivium, and Battle Cross and Kill Switch Engage. But like when I heard like Suicide Silence, I was like, this is like another level of heavy. And then that kind of like really led me down the path of like Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, Chelsea Grin, By Artist Murder, Brand of Sacrifice. I just got like progressively heavier, and then I feel like for me, like the two big influences for me are probably Suicide Silence and Hatebreed, because I was never in the hardcore music until I got into Hatebreed, and I was never in the deathcore until I heard Suicide Silence. I feel like those two bands really like brought a lot of influence to me and the band, just because like, you know, we're very heavy with the breakdowns, like, you know, like Suicide Silences and Hatebreed, you know, I think trying to, you know, bring some positivity and some punishment with the lyrics, and, you know, just the overall just hammer down of the songs from, you know, make them shorter, but, you know, simple and to the point, not dragging shit on.
Right. So, do you prefer old Suicide Silence with Mitch or with Eddie, or do you like both?
I personally like both. Obviously, like, you can't. I mean, you can compare it because Eddie's done 3 records now with them. You know, I thought the Self-Titled record got a little bit too much hate, because like what people never knew was like that Mitch was taking singing lessons before he died. Like, they were planning on doing cleans anyway, and everyone's like, Eddie killed Suicide Silence and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you guys do realize he did cleans in All Shall Perish, right? Like, he did do cleans in like 2006. So like, the guy could sing. And honestly, I prefer the Mitch era just because it's just so punishing. I feel like the songwriting definitely changed a little bit when Mitch died. But obviously I never saw Mitch. So, I mean, Eddie's a hell of a frontman though. So, you know, I prefer Mitch stuff, but like Eddie definitely does Mitch a good solid by like performing the stuff like the way he does.
Right. Yeah, see, I agree. I mean, I was really into Suicide Silence in high school, but after Mitch died, like I gave Eddie a fair chance, but it's like you said, I personally don't that I think Eddie's a hell of a frontman, but I don't think that he can compare to what Mitch originally did. So for that reason, I prefer Mitch over Eddie.
And I feel like Mitch was such a prolific frontman too, like in the scene for like deathcore. And it's nothing against like someone like Tom Barber or Phil Bosman or, you know, anyone like that from like that era, or Alex, who was the original vocalist of Chelsea. But Mitch was like the poster boy of deathcore. And I feel like there's been that void the last 9 or 10 years until Will Ramos came in from Lorna Shore. And like, I've known Will. Like, I know Will on a personal. I've known Will for, God, 4 years. I remember him when he was in Monument of Memory. Like, you know, I knew he was in Lorna Shore, you know, pre-COVID. And no one knew that. I was like very like low-key news that I knew. And I remember when he got that gig, I was like, this is the right man for this. Because I already knew. I mean, we did 4 shows. We did Lorna Shore when they had CJ. And, you know, I know Austin decently well. And I remember when they officially announced it, I was like, that's awesome for everybody involved. And then when they dropped to the Hellfire, I was like, what on earth did I just listen to? Like, how is this humanly possible? And then to see them do it live is even more ridiculous. And even my dad likes it. My dad is not like shit that's that intense. He goes, yeah, I heard Will on the radio today. I'm like, isn't it crazy? He goes, yeah. He goes, they're on Liquid Metal. He goes, it's just so strange to think that Will, who was in Monument, is on Liquid Metal. I'm like, yeah, it is so fucking weird, but so great for him, honestly.
Yo, honestly, yeah, I've heard he's a really good dude.
He really is. Like, he still comes to the local shows too. He's not even like an ego. Like,
really?
He was at a Basement show like 6 months ago with us.
Nice.
Yeah.
I heard he was just at the Monument show. Was it at House of Independence? I think.
That our buddy Brett played drums with. Yep. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. I thought so. Okay. Raph, how about you? Who are some influences for you?
Well, back in the day when I started getting into music, I listened to a lot of like, you know, the metalcore scene, like Bless the Fall, Escape the Fade, The Word Alive, and a lot of those bands. I would always go to the shows. And then around high school, that's when I really started getting into like punk rock. And then that's when I also met Rob too, and we were in a punk rock band, like a skater punk rock. And yeah, and then after that, I kind of just started listening to like whatever. It didn't really matter. Like if I liked it, I liked it. I listened to like a lot of psychedelic, a lot of like '90s stuff. I'm like really in love with '90s music because in that time period, like a lot of stuff was like happening. Nobody really knew like what kind of music it was. Like you see how a lot of like genres now like evolved from the '90s. Like they started out in the '90s. That's what I think is like
Mhm.
cool about '90s music. And then
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
well, like I don't really have like one like main influence. I just have multiple influences that just they influence me. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. I did the 90s music. I love Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Mudhoney, the whole nine. So I can respect that. How about you, Daddy Pegasus?
Just popping. I've kind of just like gotten to the point where I listen to everything, and like it happens. But like when I was a kid, I used to listen to a lot of like '80s metal. So
Same.
when I started playing drums around like 5th grade, yeah, looking a lot of '80s metal.
So what we're
That led
basically
me into like
saying is
black
the
metal
four
and
of
shit.
us. What we're basically saying is the four of us all collectively lived the same lives because like the 80s metal, the 90s music, the metalcore, the deathcore, like what we're basically saying is we all lived like the exact same childhoods. Got it.
Pretty much,
Anyway,
yeah.
you
Progressively
were
got
saying
heavier.
about black metal? Yeah.
Yeah, black metal, yeah. That was like my middle school days were all like black metal and shit. Just like weird European metal.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So
I was the
okay,
kid
so
that
you were the
was
weird kid who would like probably sacrifice the goat like behind the school. I'm
I'd
kidding.
sacrifice a
I'm
lamb on
kidding.
school grounds. I'm
Okay.
not. No, I'm just kidding. But
I
yeah.
mean,
I was the
It is
weird
Canesburg
kid
we're
that
talking
wears a
about.
jean jacket with the spikes on it. That was me. To school
okay,
every
well,
day.
I'll do you one better. I was the weird kid who was the vice president of the fucking anime club, okay?
Sick.
The fucking anime club, bro.
It's okay to be a weeaboo. You're all accepted now.
Okay, but like, I'm a retired weeaboo. I haven't watched anime in like 7 years. So, there's that. Calling myself out. Anyway, so we are almost out of time. So, anything else you would like to plug? Anything else you'd like to say? Any questions for me? Anyone you want to call out? But no beef. No beef.
With no
We
beef?
try and
Oh
keep this
God!
positive here.
Call
Keep this
out!
positive here.
We'll be on front page of Blabbermouth if I start opening my mouth. Let's see. The new record's out right now. Cold Blooded Volume 2. It's on all streaming platforms. We got physicals available as well. People stop asking me to make vinyl. Maybe we'll make vinyl one day. We got 2 shows coming up. One just got announced 3 days ago. We're doing the Metal Antics Festival in Elizabeth, New Jersey at the Litter Box on Saturday, August 6th with As Within, So Without, Bleed, Cross the Way Water Tower, some other bands that I'm drawing a blank on. Doesn't make a difference. And then we just got confirmed for the Electric City Music. Is it conference or convention, Alonna?
It's the music conference.
Conference in Scranton, PA for the first time ever in September. We don't know what day we're playing yet. I just know it's somewhere like that 15th, 16th weekend. So that'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Scranton, boys. Actually, I don't live in Scranton. I live near Scranton, though, so there's that. But still.
I want to make Rob suffer listening to Break In Benjamin on the way up there.
Fuck yeah, bro. We're listening.
Yo, you got to throw in
all the way back.
Some Title Fight, the Menzingers, Motionless. You got to get all of the Scranton bands in there.
Traverse the
Gotta get 'em
Abyss.
all.
What's that other big band you told me it's from PA or from Scranton?
Title
told me they're
fight?
like one of the very no. There's some other bands that they played them on the radio there. They're like one of 3 bands they only play on the radio there. It's like Motionless, Breaking Benjamin. Like one other band you said they're like kind of like radio core.
I'm drawing a blank. You know what? I'll probably remember it after the podcast, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, I remember the band."
You definitely know who I'm talking about. I
Yeah,
don't remember the name of the band.
I can't think of their name. Oh my god, I'm terrible. It's been a long day. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for chilling. This was awesome, and make sure that you guys hit me up to come on the podcast again, and let's not wait another 3 years.
Okay.
It's really been that long.
Yes, it was 2019.
Jesus. Oh my god.
That's what I said. Let's not wait another 3 years. I promise I don't bite. I just say really weird shit.
And you're the vice president of weird shit.
I am, yes. I'm the vice president of the fucking kids that Naruto run at you in school. Okay, in my defense, I did not do that. I was just the fucking weirdo who would
Don't
preach
lie.
about anime.
Do not lie. It's the end of the podcast. You don't have to lie. It's okay. We all know you did. We all did.
Anyway. Seriously though, thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out.
No doubt.
Thanks for having us.
Hell yeah. All right.